So, last time I believe our lesson was pretty much just like, pretty standard, except for um, we talked about like how to get the most out of playing. Like
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
a couple games, or no, it was like one game per day, right? Or like 4 games a week or something.
Well, this week has been pretty bad. I
Hmm.
played like 3 games
Oh, okay.
overall. What is it, Thursday? Yeah, it's Thursday. So yeah, I didn't play that much this week. My last ranked game was like on Saturday. But I actually have been consistently doing the last hit challenge
Hmm.
like once a day. I didn't do it on Wednesday. But like if I'm
That's
home
good.
and I'm sitting around, I just like for 10 minutes and I'm waiting for something to be done or I'm cooking or whatever, and I
Right.
can just do it for 10 minutes. It made a huge difference, especially because that custom game doesn't allow you to get items, so it doesn't get progressively easier.
Right.
After, 4 minutes and you get a quelling blade and a Bassy ring, and
Yeah.
so like it makes it a little, you have to really pay attention the whole time. And I've
Hmm.
been trying to like keep the wave in the middle of the river, and it helps a lot. And I think hopefully, like, so in the game that I want to watch,
Hmm.
I felt like I had a pretty good laning stage, but there was a couple of things I wanted to ask you about. But I think I had like 66 last hits in 10 minutes,
That's really good. That's very
which
close to
I was
perfect.
like really, really happy with. I didn't go to the jungle, but that's one of the things I wanted to ask you about.
Hmm.
But yeah, that definitely helped. So introducing me to that and even just emphasizing the importance of doing that was great.
All right, that is extremely good to hear, actually, because like I very rarely get feedback on stuff like that. So
Oh yeah,
I'm really happy about that, actually.
absolutely. Like
Good.
it's yeah, and I think one of the things that helps also is um and maybe in other videos, maybe other people aren't getting this, but hopefully they
Hmm.
will, is just the really small things, the seemingly small things that you mention really make a difference. And it's hard to like quantify it, but I can tell just by watching it and paying attention to it more how much of a difference it makes. Like, for
Hmm.
example, if your support in lane aggroes the creeps for like 2 seconds, you have to do so much work to get it back to where you wanted it to
Oh yeah.
be. And if you're not paying attention to that, the creep wave just pushes, and then you're just standing around for like a minute waiting for things to happen.
Hmm.
Whereas if you can be proactive with it and start denying early or preparing to pull 4 seconds before the next wave is about to come, so you know you need to do it, then yeah, I've found that makes a difference. Like it's an extra 2 to 3 waves at minimum in 10 minutes, which means that you finish your treads 3 minutes earlier or something. Like it's crazy. Like
Yeah.
if you look at the numbers. So yeah, those kind of things I have really been trying to pay attention to.
All right. Awesome. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Okay.
So let me shoot you the match ID.
For sure.
A couple of things before we jump into the replay. I wanted to talk about more
Hmm.
skill build for Antimage. I play him a decent amount, but not very much. I mean, I don't actually play a lot of I don't play a lot of heroes like a ton. I think Slark
Hmm.
is the only one that I have over 100 on
Okay.
out of like 1,500 games. But so I've tried different builds with him,
Right.
and I've tried the stat build. I've tried maxing the mana break. I've tried uh, getting early levels in Blink. What is it? I feel like it's really dependent with him. Like with Slark, it's almost always 4-1-1-1,
Yep. Exactly.
and you always do that for the most part. And like I feel like it's pretty variable with Anti-Mage, and I don't really know what situations to do what with him.
Okay. So yeah, you're kind of you're correct that it's more variable with Anti-Mage. It's still like I'd say there are like two things that are set in stone now,
Okay.
whereas before it was only one. But with the addition of the Vanguard builds that people are doing now, with the newest patch 6.87,
Hmm.
the skill build can change a little bit, but really you can just do this. Hold on, bring up Notepad. Okay, so you can
Oh,
just
okay.
do yeah, I'm sharing my screen. Sorry, I
Yeah.
should have said something.
Yeah, no problem. I'm seeing it.
Okay, so I'll make this a little bigger. Okay. So usually it'd be something like this, like 1-4-1-1, and this would be at like level 11 when you get your Battle Fury. Like
Interesting. So maxing Blink first. Why is that?
Because it's purely for farming. This is like
Okay.
a build where you get free farm, and like you get your Battle Fury relatively quickly. You get Trez Battle Fury relatively quickly anyway.
Hmm.
So basically, the strength of this build is actually I should talk about the lead up too. So it starts out as like 1-1-1-1, just because like you don't need the levels in Blink early. Like
Right,
the
right.
strength of Blink on Antimage is for blinking around to different camps, blinking to lane faster, stuff like
Hmm.
that. So
Hmm.
you can make use of the blinks when you get your Battle Fury and your treads. You have the regen and the stats necessary to cast Blink over and over again. Um, so basically, the best way to think about it is you want 4 points in Blink when you have Battle Fury. Okay, this isn't working that well. All right,
No,
awkward.
I
Yeah.
can listen to words.
Okay, so 4 points in Blink when you have Battle Fury, and then 4 points in Mana Break when you have Manta.
I see. That
Okay,
makes sense.
yeah, and that way, like, you kind of hit power spikes. You hit ability power spikes at the same time you hit your item power spikes, so you can make the most out of your abilities. And
Okay.
until then, you just get stats, and stats are just like obviously they're good for fighting, good for farming. Um, yeah.
Okay. So in this game, I went like I don't think I did the right thing.
Mhm.
But early I went and second level in mana break just because it was a one-on-one lane kind
Okay.
of for the most part with a tide
Yep.
because our witch doctor was kind of just running around. So I figured maybe trading with him easier was something I could do.
Yeah. That's good.
Also, I used your advice that I didn't do last time, which probably contributed to my loss. Not probably, definitely did, which is I was checking his regen, noticed he didn't have a bunch, and
Mhm.
started to get aggressive on him, and pushed him out of the lane, which I think got me the tower earlier.
Mhm.
And so it was just some small things that I think the extra level in mana break was helping me, but
Yeah.
we can check it
No,
out.
it's definitely good. Like only 2 points is necessary for that, but
Yeah, that's what I did
yeah,
exactly.
so that's really good. Like if you're ever against a melee one-on-one, or even like if you're 2v1 against a melee or something like that, it's good to get a second point in mana break.
Okay, cool. That's I
Yeah.
think I went 2-1-1 and then ult obviously, and then I
Mhm.
max blink and then I max mana break.
Yep, sounds perfect.
I
Like
think
that
that's
would
what I
be
did.
the perfect skill build for this game. So that's really good.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
I thought I messed that up completely because I didn't know whether that mana break level was necessary or
Oh
not.
no, it matters like quite a lot.
Okay.
It's a lot of damage for one skill
Yeah,
point, right? Like if you
well,
hit him.
I was looking at it and saw it was just an extra 12 damage, so I just
Yeah.
figured, hey, let's do it.
No, it's really good. Especially since Anti-Mage isn't somebody like you can't if you're putting a point in mana break, you're missing out on what like cooldown on your blink and range on your blink or like
Right,
spell shields.
right.
Um
And I was in no danger of dying in that lane, so
yeah,
I figured
absolutely.
whatever.
Yeah, so that was a really good decision. That's something you want to continue doing. Okay.
So I think
So
this was pretty uncontested.
yeah, items look fine. The positioning was fine. You were on the top of the hill, so that's good. I didn't actually check to see if you ran this way to scout out the ward of the offlaner, but
I
that's something
didn't.
you could do.
Yeah,
Okay.
I should do that more.
Yep. It's
So
not
yeah,
too big a deal, but it helps.
this was my glorious game to get to 3K.
Oh, nice, nice. Okay.
Very happy with it. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Okay. Okay. You're already adjusting
Yeah, I was.
equilibrium, which is good. Looks like you might. No, you're gonna make it. Okay. Barely.
Yeah, and then I
See-
didn't have that.
Yep. So that's good. So you were in a position where you could have been like you could have caused yourself to have a double range creep, but then you recovered.
Yes.
So that's really good.
You
Yeah.
helped me
Yep. That's excellent. It's really
a
good.
lot. Yeah, just paying attention to that and creep counting.
Yeah, because it's not something that like is very obvious. Like there's no indicators that say like, hey, you need to look at this for new
Right.
players or whatever. So and it's extremely important. So unfortunately, Witch Doctor is like really
Yeah,
messing with
and
the
this is
equilibrium.
what I
But
noticed. And
yeah, there's
but
nothing you could do about it that you aren't already doing. So
I mean,
it's fine.
also the Tusk left the lane.
Mhm.
This will start happening soon, but I started like trying to pressure a lot more.
Yep.
But yeah, I didn't think that was a kill. Maybe it was. But
Yeah, I think this is where you should get more aggressive. Basically, you can be more aggressive even when Tusk is in the lane. You don't need to like go ham and just like run past their creep wave or whatever. But just if they're ever in melee range, don't be afraid to hit them.
Yeah.
Anti-Mage is the king of trading with melee heroes, with the exception of like one hero that is escaping me. I think Treant Protector is like the only hero who can outdamage an
Yeah.
Anti-Mage level 1, but very uncommon situation. So yeah, definitely don't be afraid to hit them. But I mean, it's been fine so far. Right here, though, it's definitely a missed kill opportunity. This is when, like, it's kind of awkward because you have to trust Witch Doctor to go in, and you have to run forward. But when you see this position right here, when this creep is about to die, and Tide is running into the other creep...
Yeah, I should have went for it.
Yeah, this is when you start running right here, and you start hitting them. And then, like, on the off chance of Witch Doctor not casting his spells or whatever, then you don't get the kill, but you do get some damage, and that's fine. It's actually worth giving up 1 CS for that, for the opportunity to kill him.
Yeah, he may not have died, but I think I could have gotten like 2 hits or 3 hits off on him. Because I had Anchor Smash on me also.
Oh yeah, that's true. You were Anchor Smashed. Okay, so yeah, he might not have died. It's still like it's still a good it's a good trading opportunity. So yeah, it's totally worth it. Okay, but either way, it's not too costly. Okay, so pick up boots, Quelling Blade, good stuff. Okay.
So this is where I just decided, hey, he's standing there.
Yeah.
Try to trade with him.
If you control the equilibrium here, the lane is over for him. He has to go to the jungle. That's just how it works. Like, see, he was just in a position where he's going to have a double range creep now. Because, like, your creeps are going to run into the tower after this one dies, so this range creep will stay alive. Now he has 2 range creeps, and it's going to push to you. Lane's over, right here. As long as you don't just, like, randomly push. Doesn't matter what kind of rage.
So this is... Okay, can you pause it for a second? This is where I have some questions. So, what I think I did... So I'm pretty sure he dies at some point soon with the bounty or some very close to it. But I was thinking, I was deliberating over whether I should be pulling and denying him or whether I should be, since now I'm solo, I can get a lot of experience and pressure the tower really hard. And I think I decided to do the latter, which was pressure the tower. Okay. And I think I got it pretty early because of that, but I'm not sure which one is better. Like, it's hard for me to judge. Should I pressure the tower there, or should I just have pulled and denied him everything?
Well, so I mean,
we can watch and see which one. Like, I'm sure with more information you could tell.
Right. Well, I can already give you a good answer here. So there are a couple things that happen when you push a tower, right? The first is, the most obvious one. You give your team gold and experience. Second thing is map pressure, which is really nice, and you can't really like put a number on that, unfortunately. It's good. So those are really good things, and that's why I usually recommend getting the tower. For a hero like Antimage, though, it's a little different, I think, because you're so dependent on your battle period timing, and just your item timing and level timing in general, that I think it's actually worth it to just accelerate your farm a little bit and focus on farming rather than pushing. I'm very hesitant to say this because it's very easy to take that and be like, oh, okay, I should never hit towers. But
right.
Yeah, so I think in this case, like, when you're in a literally free lane where you can't be ganked, you can't have anything bad happen to you, there's no way you die here, with the exception of, like, I don't know, Exort Invoker, if he was Exort, Sun striking you on top of a Tusk Snowball, then you get Ravaged and then punched or something like ridiculous.
There was very little that I was scared of in this game, early in the game.
Yeah, so you have nothing to worry about. So in this case, it'd be better to just continuously push out these waves, and then once you get treads and Poor Man's Shield, you start doing these camps. Before you get your Ring of Health, you can actually like do this thing where you pull pull this camp into your creep wave at 55 seconds, and then it'll stack, and then you can just fight the creeps with your creeps, and that way you can like kind of do a stack with Antimage without losing that much HP.
Right.
So you would do that like in between waves, or you could actually, I think. I'm going to leave it there, and I'll link you a video afterward. I'll pull it up right now so I don't forget. But basically, it's AUI 2000, who's EG's carry player. He kind of like shows how to do this.
I've seen the video. I haven't watched the video, but I have seen references to it.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, so I'll get that right now. Okay, got it. Cool. Link that afterwards. Okay. But yeah, that's what you want to do in a free farm lane. When you're on a hero like Antimage, who really benefits from, just that little bit quicker battle fury, like the little extra time.
I mean, I was still like getting almost every last hit at this point, but I probably could have gotten even a little bit more out of the lane.
Yeah, you said you got something like 66 CS, which is like stellar. That is fantastic, but you could get more.
Yeah.
So you should always like try to strive for it. And when I say more, I mean like not you could have not missed any last hits, but it's like you could have gotten like 5 or 6 big creeps or something like that.
Yeah, it's just being more efficient.
Yeah. Okay. So that's good. that's what the optimal play would be in this case, in my opinion. I think this is also a subjective thing though, because like other people would say like, oh well, the map pressure from getting the tower isn't valuable. But I think in a pub, it like the map pressure matters more later, whereas like early on it doesn't matter as much. Especially when you're here like Antimage. So yeah, let's. If you have no other questions about that, we should probably move forward. Okay.
Yeah. That was useful.
Okay. So, yeah,
so this is where I think he's getting too much. But this is, I think, where I saw his regen and decided to trade that he didn't have any, and I had a salve, so I went aggressive on him.
I think he could have done it a bit sooner, like you said. That's okay. Like he's out of mana.
Right.
He has no mana. Well, he just gushed for whatever reason, which is really bad. So the only thing you did wrong here was when he gushes, you need to back off because like you're going to be tanking creeps, and this is going to lower your armor by a lot. Like it's 3, and you only have 3, so your armor goes to 0 here. You know, he's punching you. He does pretty good damage with just right clicks, and the cannon creep and these 4 creeps are going to start hitting you.
And he's got no mana, so I'm not really getting any extra damage.
Yeah, so you should definitely back off at this point, and just like concede that trade. You already won the trade basically if you just back off at that point. But like his last little like shred of power is gone after the gush debuff expires, so you should just wait that out.
I mean, at this point, I know he's out of regen, so I'm like, get out of this lane.
Yeah, the lane is over. It's 100% over. Especially if you can pop his clarity somehow here. It would honestly, if you're paying attention to where people are on the map, and you know that like nobody could be here except for a Tide, it's honestly worth it to just blink on him and pop his clarity, like right about now when he walks up.
Yeah.
You'd tank like creep aggro, which is not good, but when you break his clarity like that, you remove his presence from the lane. He has no place there. But if he gets like a couple more spells, he can always anchor smash and just be annoying. So yeah. Okay. Okay, good. Get a little aggressive. Okay.
Because of there, yeah.
Yeah, he's dead. Okay. The blink was obviously unnecessary because of Maledict, but that's okay.
I wasn't anticipating the Maledict well enough there.
Yeah, that's okay. No worries. Okay, you're also going for treads before a battle fury, which is excellent. Please
I think I go treads. In this game, I went treads and then Vanguard and then battle fury.
Yep, excellent.
That was the first time I've tried it, and I liked it. It's mainly just okay. So this is where I just start becoming aggressive and trying to push the tower.
I think that's completely fine. Like this isn't wrong. It's just like it's not something I would do personally. It's definitely like in a playbook. It's not just like something so bad that nobody would ever do it.
Yeah. Well, at least I was thinking about the decision.
Yeah, that's the most important thing, honestly.
That's kind of what I tell myself sometimes, and it's just this is why I want to talk through it, just because it's easier to talk about a decision if you tell the person what you're thinking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get more information about it. So.
Yeah. So this is completely fine. I have no issues with this really. Okay.
Yeah, this game actually gets kind of hard, even though I'm doing pretty well, just because they were kind of grouping, and I think my team died a bunch. But it happens.
Yep.
Just trying to really focus on my game. I also have been taking your advice of like not saying anything to people, or saying it less.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's impossible to tell whether it's having a difference or not, but
yeah, that's like way beyond subjective. That's like organic psychology there. It's just
I'm just trying to focus on my game, and it might. And I think it could. The one thing that can help is just have you focus on yourself, because if you're not telling if you're not telling other people to do stuff, that means you're thinking about what you should be doing more, and that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, no, absolutely, you're right. If that's the only thing you're going to take from that, then that's all you need. Like that's great.
Right.
Like there's a reason that a lot of the professional in-game leaders, like for pro teams or whatever, are also like the worst players on their team.
Yeah.
And it's not because they just suck and got lucky. It's because their job is so fucking hard that like they need all the focus they can get for like calling the shots. So, yeah, that should clear some things up. So that's good. I'm glad. Okay. Okay. So just pushing standard stuff. You got your Vanguard. I think you can buy the Vit booster at the side shop now, can't you?
Can you?
I believe you can. Yeah, you can.
Oh man, well that's terrible. When did they change that this patch?
That was 2 patches ago, I believe.
Okay, I guess I just never buy that item ever with any hero, and I
Yeah.
probably just didn't know.
No, that's one of the best things about Vanguard actually, is you can just buy it right here. You never have
Oh,
to use a courier. It's
okay.
amazing.
Well, that's definitely something I will take note of. I like
That's good.
never actually look to see what's in there. I just know like TPs and Blink,
Yep.
and Helm of Iron Will
Hmm.
is another thing I buy from there a lot.
I mean, those are the big ones, right? Like, there's not much else that's important other than like the boots or whatever.
Hmm.
The only other notable thing that you might not know is Bottle is in here as well, which
Yeah,
is
and
really
it
nice.
comes with like 2 charges or something, right?
Yeah, I think it's 1 charge, but either way, it's limited. But you know, it's cool to know. Okay, so that's cool.
So yeah, the other thing, I mean, this happens later, but it's
Mhm.
more just like efficient farming patterns with AM, and I want to go through that a little bit too
Mhm.
when we get there.
Yeah, sure.
Because I think right now it's pretty much an endless loop of until I get the tower.
Yeah. So real quick, we can talk about like just the standard laning farming pattern.
Yeah,
The AOI video, we'll talk about this a little, so I won't go too crazy. But after you get like a Perseverance or a Vanguard, whichever one you're going for, and treads, um, basically just like you push out the wave as fast as you can, then you blink to this camp and you kill it. Then you blink to this camp and you kill it. Then you blink back to lane. Then you kill this lane. Then you just keep doing that over and over and over.
yeah,
That's the most efficient way to farm it, honestly. Also, some people like blink to this camp first and then go to this one. I have no opinion on that personally. Um, it's the same amount of distance, so
right, and it's the
fine.
same idea.
Yeah. So either way, it's just like blinking to camps and farming them, making sure you tread swap and stuff. Um, Other than that, there's no need to get any more complicated, really. Okay. That's my tower, good stuff. Uses Ravage. That was really huge waste, but it's okay.
Yeah, defensive.
Yep. Okay. Pushing. This is actually something cool about the Vanguard bit is you can get like pretty aggressive,
Under,
at least
under
compared
the
to
tower.
yeah, just like anywhere really. As long as there aren't a lot of nukers or whatever.
Yeah, I really liked it. I felt like
Mhm.
I could do things that I wasn't able to do. Like if you just go treads, battle
Right.
free.
Yeah. No, it's definitely an interesting build. I haven't played with it personally, but I'm gonna
Yeah,
try
so
it
I
next time
decided to just like farm aggressively. Another thing that you advised
Yep.
on, which is if you can get that wave and force them to come
Oh yeah, it's amazing. Like the
while
payoff
my
is
while
really
my team
nice.
is dying. But
Yeah, I mean, like it's not like you could go prevent it or prevent
right,
that from happening.
right,
So,
exactly. So
yep.
I was trying to do my part and just pushing that lane and getting the tide out of that fight at least.
Yep, that's the absolute best way you can help them. One thing here is you can save your blink since it's low level. This is like, oh no, you have max blink. Holy shit. Okay, yeah, you're level 10.
Yeah, like I
Okay,
said, I've
that's
been
really
in this
fast.
lane by myself.
Yeah, okay.
So
No, you're right. You're right. Just not paying attention to that. Okay. So what I was gonna say is you can cut one of these trees, which is really helpful. It saves you like probably like zero 0.2 seconds because
Yeah.
you can run right here and then blink a little bit farther, but not that big a deal. I like to do it anyways just because like I like something to do while I'm hitting the creeps, but yeah, you don't have to do that obviously. Okay. You're just pushing. I really like that you're moving your camera here. That's really good.
yeah, I've been again like I'm trying to be aggressive while
Mhm.
my team is not doing so great, but I still feel okay just because I'm getting a lot right now.
Yep. That's the right mentality to have. Right here, why did you back? What was your reasoning?
They all left the map.
Okay.
That was specifically I remember that and thinking, okay, that fight is over now,
Mhm.
and then they're all like in about 10 to 15 seconds they leave, or I
Okay.
don't see them anymore. Like they're not pushing that tower. So my thought process was like, okay, they're not pushing. I don't see anyone. Let me back. But I probably could have stayed there, forced them
Right.
to come, and then blinked away.
Yep.
Now that I see it.
Yeah. The key thing here is like, even if they were to show up in this lane, the only way they could do that is like by TPing, or I guess they could have somebody waiting right here, like beforehand. But that's like very specific.
Yeah.
Um,
And also, I probably should know that they TP'd up there.
Right. You should
So
know that
that-
at least like Tide did because he was down here before.
Yeah.
So you can roll that out. So Tide can't be there. The only person like, I guess like the biggest thing that I'm trying to get to here is like they have no way to initiate on you from range. Like
Yeah.
their only way to do that is like I guess they could Ghost Walk and Cold Snap or something, but it's really not that good against Antimage. Like it's okay, don't get me
And
wrong. but,
I think I'm pretty tanky right now with
Yeah.
like Treads, Vanguard, and Perseverance. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
you basically have nothing to worry about in this particular game. So you definitely should have been pushing here. And like if you
Okay.
can get the invoker to TP down here, that's fantastic. That's really
Right.
good.
Right. That might save that tower.
Yeah. So that would be really nice.
It's
So
just
this is definitely a mistake.
almost it's probably like automatic for me, which is if I see people missing,
Mhm.
I get scared and then I leave and then now I realize I think I end up TPing. Yeah,
Yeah, you TP top.
this is probably a bad decision. Well, not probably.
Yeah.
I think this might be a bad decision, but we'll see what happens. I don't remember actually what happens here. So,
I do want to touch on one thing you were just about to say.
okay.
It's like when people leave the map, you get like you play more cautious, which is it's okay, but it's not optimal. Ideally, you have like superhuman what's the word for it? Like you have the ability to just like always look at everything on your screen at once. Like
Yeah.
your attention's or how do you can constantly stay focused on everything on your screen, which is impossible. Nobody can do it. But I guess like being focused on the right things at the right time is a better way to describe it. So like, okay, so when these guys are within your vision, it's very valuable information, but there's actually a point where like it's most valuable, and that's when they're right on the edge of leaving your vision, because that's like, okay, so let's try to look at this. Okay, so what's gonna happen right now? These two are about to leave vision. Try to pause it right here. Okay, so these guys are still within your vision, but they're just about to leave. At this point, if they go into Fog of War and they're running in the same path, you can kind of guess where these guys are going.
Yeah.
Like based on where they are. So this is the most important time to take note of where these guys are. So if you do that, then like you can kind of infer where they're going to go and whether or not you're in danger or whatever. Also, like you can keep track of TPs and stuff as well, which is also helpful for like making this decision to continue pushing or whatever. So yeah, I hope that was
Yeah,
fairly helpful.
that makes sense. I mean, part of my mindset of watching fights happen and gathering information right now is I look to see the main thing that I'm looking for is to see whether I can contribute to a fight. And that's like the information I'm trying to get.
Right.
But I think I can get more like, okay, I can't contribute to the fight. That thought process shouldn't end there. And I think it does right now for me. Like,
right.
If I can't contribute, I just stop looking. But I can look to see not just can I contribute or not, or it's like where are they going to go next?
Yeah, any kind of information you can extract is valuable.
And I don't do that as much.
I don't think you need to worry about that so much, honestly. I think just like can I contribute to the fight or not is enough to get you to 5K. Honestly, like assuming like I don't want to sell you any dreams or anything like that, but like assuming your mechanical skill keeps up with that, that is like that's perfectly fine for a 5K player. So don't worry about anything past that really.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well,
just
the type of person that's like, if I can do something that I'm not doing well, I will do it.
Okay. No, that's totally fine
but
too.
Yeah, no, but I know what you're saying. Like if it's taking away from other things, then it's okay.
Yeah, just focus on the other stuff first. But definitely, like, I mean, if you're comfortable with trying it, then go for it. Like, knock yourself out. I don't think it would hurt you really. Yeah.
So what? Can we talk about that decision to go top?
Yes.
I don't think I got that much out of it, even though, like, it was similar to the last replay that we watched, which is we won the fight, but did I really do anything?
Right.
There is the question. So
I would say so, because this kill does not happen if you're not here.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't. We were talking, so I wasn't really watching this.
Yeah, I wasn't either, so it's okay.
So go through that.
Yeah. So you TP in. Again, this kill doesn't happen without you, so it's fine. So you guys get a kill on Tusk, who's level 8. Not super high level, not super low level either, so that's not bad. Let's kill the Lifestealer, but this is like you can't predict this is happening, so this is kind of like
yeah, he just showed up.
Yeah, so this is like before you TP in, you don't know that this is going to happen, so this can't like be factored into your decision or whatever.
Yeah.
So this is it's a good result, but don't get me wrong. But I think it's honestly okay. Only because you guys get the tower though. Like if you don't get this tower, then it's not a good play.
I don't think we do. I don't think.
Oh really?
We do. I think they come back in and the void dies and then I leave.
Oh, okay. So in this case, it's probably not worth it. The tower is like the linchpin here. That's the most important thing.
And that's what
Um,
I was hoping for. Like
yeah,
those kills would turn into that. But then
right.
the Invoker came and Tusk came and
Yeah.
this is the
So
point where I was like, okay, I'm out. I'm out of this.
okay, I think this is worth it. Basically because you guys committed like less heroes for this. Like they commit every hero except for Tide. Um, and they end up losing two as well. Whereas you guys only lose one, if I'm remembering this correctly. And you guys also have bounty farming mid. Like he's getting some farm, which is nice. So I think this is actually worth it. I don't think this is bad. It's hard to say whether or not like it's a good decision though, because only the test kill is like pretty much guaranteed. Um, like the
Right.
only way he gets out here is like seriously outplaying you guys with Fog of War or whatever. So that's
Right.
you can sort
So
of rule that out.
so like in retrospect, it was better, but maybe
Yeah,
in the at the time, staying and farming that lane would might have been better too.
yeah. I think just pressuring down here would have been worth it. Or
Yeah.
maybe if you had TP'd earlier or something, you could have like one Jug and Tusk were both under tower. Maybe there was like a possibility of getting two kills, something like that.
Right. Right.
I don't think it's worth like going into too much, but
Hmm.
that's a possibility. I don't think this was like a horrible decision by any means. I think going for the test kill is totally fine.
All right.
Um,
Cool.
yeah, it obviously slows down your farm, but it also slows down everyone else's farm except for Tides. Like he gets a big boost from this, but that's okay.
And that's kind of what I was thinking
Hmm.
watching it again, which is like we crushed him, and now he's kind of doing okay.
Hmm.
Um, so
That's fine. I mean, like the thing that's crushing your lane or whatever is it's not about like making them not exist. Like you're not trying to delete them from 3D space or anything like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
It's just about slowing down their timings, and like this guy is very slowed down. Like he's very behind from where he should be.
yeah.
Um,
That's true. That's a good way to think about it.
yeah, it's not like if he.
It's
Yes, if he comes back, obviously he's doing better than he was before, but that's still really bad in comparison to like what he could have if you hadn't exerted that pressure earlier. So I think
right.
this is fine. This is just like expected. Okay. So you end up going from top to bottom. You get a haste turn, which doesn't really matter. All good.
Yeah, I figure pressure this tower. They all TP top.
Yep.
So
Yep, it's absolutely correct. One little small thing is you can switch to agi treads when you're farming. It
yeah,
does
I'm
make a
not
difference.
a good tread switcher with AM yet.
Mhm.
I'm pretty good with Slark, but yeah, I need to do that.
Yeah,
I'd
definitely.
probably leave it at
It makes
strength for too long.
it makes a huge difference, especially the switching from int or to int when you blink. That makes the biggest difference of all, I
Yeah.
think. Okay. So you push the tower. You don't get the last hit, but it's not a big deal really. Okay, that's fine. So see your pattern. Okay, so your pattern's like slightly incorrect.
Okay.
Basically, if you're gonna do this, like I'm assuming you're going to go like this. Can I draw? I can draw. Excellent. Okay, so you're gonna go like this. You farm this camp, then this one, then you're gonna go up and do something like that. Like,
Yeah,
goodness.
I'm pretty sure that's what I did.
So alternatively, it'd be better to go from the lane to straight to this hard camp and then go up, and then that
Okay.
way there's like more of a natural
Yeah.
progression. You're not doing this like this V movement here. It's like you go here and then you go straight. Which like
Right, right.
when I draw like that, it doesn't look as
No, I totally get what you
Tactful,
mean.
but
You're
okay.
just minimizing movement. Like I
Yeah.
said, like these small things that seemingly are not that big of a deal. I'm starting to tell how they add up. So
Yep.
and that was something that we didn't talk about in the last, because I think we focused a lot on the early part, which was good in a way, for what I needed. But yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. So that's something you could implement. And even then, if you still end up doing this pattern instead of a downward clear, like of the jungle, like where you go back to the mid, which I think this is probably correct. Like it's lane pressure, so it's good.
that's yeah. I was following your
Yeah.
literally like I was playing this game and thinking, okay, what you had this one video where you listed out like priorities
Right.
of what you should be doing if you can do it. So that's kind of what I was modeling it around. So I was
Okay.
like, okay, that lane I can go push and get a wave, so I will do that first before I go back to the jungle.
Okay, that's great.
So
I mean, that's really good. Like this is, I don't want to say it's a high level play, but it's a higher level play than where you should be right now. So this
Right,
is really
right.
good. It's good to see.
all right, cool.
um,
That's good to hear too.
Okay, excellent. Yeah. So even with this, doing this pattern, it still works out better to go to this camp first, just because
Right.
like there's less movement. So that's fine. Yeah, and you end up forcing a TP here. Like Invoker TP's mid, and he's
Yeah,
probably not
and
gonna
they
kill
all
you.
come. This is
Yeah,
I
this is
remember
amazing.
this exactly and thinking that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But then there was a problem, which is I die here, and I
Okay,
remember
okay.
this. But
Yeah. Okay. So you did the thing where you assume like these guys are gonna back off because Antimage blinks into the trees. Like,
And they had, and also I didn't. This is where I found out Invoker had an Orchid, and this is what killed me.
okay.
So I'm not really sure. Like, that's something I should have known, probably.
Maybe there was like a slight window where you could have seen it. But
I mean, I actually have no idea when he got it, so he may have had it.
no.
Oh, he just got it.
Yeah,
no.
this
Okay.
was his debut kill or whatever.
Okay.
If he shows
so that
here,
doesn't-
okay, yeah, he didn't show at all. Like, he's in Viz right now, so you had no way of knowing this other than like intuition and like, okay, you know, Invoker has been farming. He has this many kills, this many deaths, blah blah blah. So you can kind of guess when he's gonna get it.
Yeah, I
don't
knew
think
he
it's
was
that bad.
building it. I didn't know whether he had it or not.
Mhm.
But like this, that makes me feel a little bit better. But honestly, if he had it and I had the time to see him, I may not have done that either. So
Yeah, so that would be the only way. Is like he has to mess up and show his Orchid or whatever for you to know. I'd say the biggest mistake here is assuming that these guys are gonna back off of you.
right.
Like I've been playing like at high 3K on my Smurf or whatever. Like I got a fresh account or whatever, and I've noticed that like when I go to split push, sometimes I'll just like I'll run away from somebody. Like I'll be here and I'll be pushing a tower, and then I run all the way back here. You know, go to the ancients or whatever, and like I know like I'm gonna force TPs or whatever, but I don't predict that these guys are gonna run from here, chase me all the way around, go around this way, like run through here, then like meet me at ancients or whatever. Like I never
Yeah.
expect that. It's shocking actually.
It's see hero, chase hero until someone dies. It's very common.
Yeah, so that's something you should take into account. It's like it's incorrect because like these guys should be backing off. You're gone completely. Like you have no chance. Like they have no chance of killing you. So they should back off here. Well, maybe Invoker could have, or doesn't have to because he has Orchid, so he actually can kill you. So it's like slightly different. But I think you understand my point.
Yeah.
Just like you should kind of assume that people are gonna over chase a little bit. Obviously, that's not like concrete advice, but yeah, that's what I've noticed playing, you know, at that bracket.
I mean, at this point, I was really mad at myself, and then thinking like that 50 seconds of me dying, they're already, I think, in the lead at this point, and I was like,
Yeah,
oh
for sure.
man, my whole early game. So yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing that you've been like playing so well up until then, because like you're allowed to have a certain amount of mistakes in a game, right? Like obviously, you know, you shouldn't have mistakes. Like that's technically incorrect play or improper play or whatever. But
It happens.
yeah, you're allowed to have some. It's totally fine. Obviously, you
Yeah.
want to limit them, but yeah. So
And it's crazy, like especially at this level. I mean, I've noticed if you die, and then their whole team is there, it almost just flicks a switch in your team's head. Like, okay, go fight now, even though someone just died.
yeah, it's really
and
bad.
and it causes, you know, this whole other snowball effect that happens, which literally just happened, as we saw. Like I died, and then my whole team died, and then they got a tower.
Yeah. So
So-
it's a very impactful death for sure. Even if like your death is supposed to mean that those things happen, that's how it is. Like the law of low MMR.
Yeah,
One of
and
them
then I had the Lena telling the other team to report me for getting a Vanguard the whole game.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just muted almost everyone on my team, and then just
That's the way
tried
to do it.
focus.
That is the way to do it. I mean, that's gonna happen, so whatever.
I mean, it also happened right after I died there, and
Yep.
it's just people looking for things to blame.
Yeah, that's definitely it. Like, that's unfortunate, but I mean, that's just. I don't want to say it's human nature, but maybe
It
it's
is.
Dota player nature.
No, it's 100% human nature.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Oh, okay. I'll take your word for it.
Anytime anything goes wrong, people will look for someone to blame that is not themselves.
Yeah, that's certainly true.
It just happens.
When you put it like that, yeah, you're definitely right. Okay. All right. So,
Yes, Yep. Go ahead.
I wasn't gonna say anything too important.
Oh, okay.
It's basically just like your decision was to go mid, which is fine, I think. I don't know what this invoker is doing. This is really creeping me out, but that's fine. Okay, so you went
Is he
mid.
just standing in Viz there?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's what his
Really
hero motto
great.
is not showing up, but oh yeah. So he's just, I guess he's waiting for you to show up or something like that, or maybe he
Maybe.
saw Void push this earlier, but yeah. So basically, every decision you make from here on has to take into account that they have an Orchid Invoker, and that is a big deal for you. So
Yeah, that's what I was trying to play around. Like I was thinking I need my Manta ASAP,
right.
so that's what I was focused on.
Okay, that's good. Okay. So this is an interesting play. I think it's good, but it's like technically dangerous. I think it's good because it's like a litmus test of sorts, um, and only because you have like you have a bunch of like, how do I describe this? You have like animal whiskers like pushing out on the map, or like feelers or whatever. Like these guys like. Okay, so this is gonna be like pretentious or whatever, but you know how dogs and cats have whiskers so that like if they like they're basically there so that they don't get their heads stuck in things. Long story short, this is kind of what you would have right now with your teammates, because everyone is pushed out like, you know, pretty much to the limit here. Like they're almost all past the river, and you know, if these guys see anything, like this kind of like becomes unavailable for you, like this part of the map. So this is good. You're kind of like doing the same thing for them in a way, except you're like harder to kill. And Void is doing the same thing as well. So you guys are kind of like acting together to gather information, even if that's not the goal of the team. That's like the structure of the thing.
I mean, my mindset again was I saw a bunch of people top, and I saw Void was pushing, and I figure, you know, from your advice, you can try to farm in aggressive places and force people to do things. Like I may have died there, like they could have rotated and killed me, but I felt like I could get away from things as long as the invoker wasn't near me.
Yep,
and
that's absolutely true.
So I mean, I'm sure these decisions can bite me in the ass at some point, but I was trying to be really aggressive to farm because I knew we were behind.
No, I think this is correct. I think this is 100% correct, and your mindset is correct too. Like when you're behind, you need to actually farm aggressively. You know, assuming you can. Obviously, like the only thing that can kill you in this game is Invoker, so it's kind of like a gamble whether or not he goes for you or Void, because he's going to go for one or the other. He's going to go for solo heroes. I'd say you have a better chance of surviving than Void, just because you have like more HP, you have a Vanguard and stuff. But yeah, so I think this is a good play. If the Void is not here, though, I want to say I don't want to say it's bad, but it's definitely like way less good.
Very dangerous.
Yeah, it's extremely dangerous at that point. So the Void being here makes this a good play. And then like worst case scenario, you die, and then you guys still have pressure in 2 other lanes, so that's fine.
Yeah, that's what you mentioned last time. Like the worst case scenario of those situations is you force them to spend a lot of resources to get to you. So it's kind of what I was thinking about.
Yep. So
and
really
I make a really, this is something, I remember this, and I made a really bad play, and yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, okay. So let's talk about this.
So my mindset was I was hoping I could get off a Mana Void before I could, or because I knew at this point the Invoker was worth a lot. So I was thinking, if we can kill the Invoker, it would be huge. So I went for him. I'm pretty sure I got him pretty low in mana, and then I got silenced.
Right. You got silenced beforehand, so I think this would have been a good play if you just got 2 more hits off, and then mana voided, because he would die at that point for sure.
Yeah, I should have done that.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you just need to like trust yourself at that point and go for it, and do like the most optimal thing that your hero can do, which is drain as much mana as possible and then mana void. So I think if you let yourself get more hits, both of these guys die. Because if like any additional mana that you drain here really matters, because like it does multiplicative damage.
Yeah, and it turns out being really bad. I didn't get him, and I died.
Yeah. So actually, 100% looking at his HP now. If you get this guy like 2 more hits lower in mana, he's 100% dead.
And then Tusk is probably dead too.
Yeah, because Tusk can't do any damage to you. Like he already used his spells. The worst thing he can do is punch you, but he's already used that. So yeah. So this was a fine play, honestly. It's just like the execution was poor.
Okay. All right. That makes me feel a little bit better, but also, execution is.
Yeah, execution is important. It's
and part of it is knowing the hero. Like if I don't play AM a lot, then knowing exactly how much mana and damage I'm gonna do before I can kill is important. I misjudge my mana voids sometimes.
Yeah, I mean that only comes with time really, unless you can do math in your head like this.
Yeah.
Like 0.85 times their mana pool or whatever. That's impressive, but I don't think most people can't do that while playing. So definitely it just comes with time. I do want to talk about this. So in this situation, like, actually, never mind, I'm wrong. Okay, so I was gonna say, Tusk, like when Tusk snowballs on you like this, you kind of have to wait for the snowball to be about to hit and then blink away. That way you can like adjust the way the snowball turns. But in this case, like Invoker actually showed on you with Ghost Walk. He didn't orchid you for whatever reason, like God knows why. But you
Yeah, I
see
would have
like
been dead.
yeah,
Yeah,
if
and
you just
this was
orchid him right
before
here,
that play. If he orchided me there, I'm gone.
right, 100%.
Yeah.
So that's a mistake
execution on his part.
Yeah. Yeah, which is fine. Like that stuff is gonna happen. But yeah, so because he showed like the Ghost Walk showed, you need to blink right away. Like just try to get out as best you can. Okay, so that's fine. I think if anything, the decision to go on Tusk initially was a bit iffy. It was like too aggressive for not having enough information on the map.
Yeah.
Maybe if Lina was pushed out to here, it'd be different. Because then, like, okay, maybe you can assume somebody's going for Lina. But yeah. Okay, so Invoker barely gets away. It's rough. What happens?
Yeah, looking at this game now, like, I'm surprised we won. But
I mean, you still had like a fairly good game so far. Like, yeah, at least for farm, like you're doing great.
Yeah, farming. That's what I've been focusing on. And I think another thing that you mentioned was like, a challenge is to just win a game by hitting creeps and not hitting heroes that much. And I probably don't have very much hero damage at this point, and that's kind of what I've been focusing on.
Yeah, and that's
especially
totally
with
fine.
a hero like AM.
Right. Yeah, because Antimage can control a game just by pushing creeps. It's amazing. Yeah. So yeah, you're definitely right about that. Okay.
Right, so some shit goes down.
Yep. Stuff back at the bottom. What was your reasoning for coming down here in the first place?
Yeah, I don't know. I probably was just like, team is there, which is the wrong thing to do.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, where the other lanes are pushed pretty far out. I guess I could have went to the jungle.
Yeah, so this is like what I would do. Because this lane is pushed, you obviously like the best thing that you could do up here is like push this wave and then like die at this tower or something. So that's kind of like you can cross that off the checklist. You don't need to worry about that. I think the most efficient thing you can do is TP top and go to this camp and then do like a downwards clear.
And do the ancients into the jungle.
Yeah, do something like that. And alternatively, if you go here, you have options afterward. Like let's say you come here and instead of being right here, you're doing this camp, and you see Roshan has fallen to the Dire. Then at that point, you have the option of either like going top and clearing this out because it's fairly safe at that point.
Right.
Or you can go down and like try to fight or whatever. Like obviously, I think the farming thing would be better, but yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So this play gives you more options, I think. The downside about this play is if your guys did have any chance of contesting Roche, which I don't think you do, you wouldn't be there for it.
Right. Yeah. I think I guessed at that point that they were Roshing, and I was pretty sure we couldn't contest anyway.
Yeah. So in that case, it would have been better to go top, just from the information you had before, where they were all missing or whatever. Okay.
I'm farming creeps during a team fight.
That's okay. I don't think you should have blinked it anyway, so it's technically more efficient, so it's fine. Okay. I wish I could tell if you were clicking on people. In this case, it was hard to tell there. Definitely want to make sure you're clicking on Invoker.
Do you mean like checking to see what they're doing or what they have?
Sorry, yeah, to check to see his mana pool specifically.
Oh,
because
yeah.
you're Antimage.
I don't think I do that enough with Antimage.
Yeah, it's definitely a skill that you want to practice because like it makes a huge difference. Like if Invoker's full mana, obviously you do no damage, but if he's even like half mana, like you do a ton of damage. This guy is like 1800 mana pool at this time, so it's something absurd. So it definitely makes a big difference. But either way, I think that was the extent of what you could do in that fight. Yeah, it would have been better to be top at this point, I think, but it's still totally fine. You end up being involved with a track kill, and you kill one of their most farmed heroes, so it's good. Okay. Lifestealer got a Battle Fury. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I saw that, and I was trying to figure out why, and then I also figured out I shouldn't try to figure out why people do weird things.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Good thing to.
I was like, all right, forget that.
Yeah, it's definitely like looking back on it, it's peculiar. I could understand if you guys had illusions or whatever, but
right,
anyway.
right. I had no idea why, and then I just stopped thinking about it. I remember being like, okay, whatever.
Alright, so this pattern here is a little weird. Okay. So you end up pushing this.
Yeah, I thought pushing top. Okay, so I remember this. Like, I pushed aggressively top because I saw Tusk was top.
Right.
And he has one of the longer distance initiations, so... Then, after I decided okay, top, like one more wave, top is kind of dangerous now. I
Right.
didn't really know what to do. Like this is where I remember not knowing, okay, where do I go?
Right.
I checked ancients and it wasn't there, and then I had no idea what to do.
Okay, so first thing, I think you should walk to check ancients first, and that way you can blink down. It's a little bit dangerous doing this because you don't really
Oh
know what's
yeah,
going on right here.
that stairwell, the
Yeah,
new
you
one.
technically could have died. So just
That's
walk this
true.
way and check, and that would be slightly more efficient. Then you can blink downward if there's nothing there. Doesn't end up costing you, but let's say these guys took this path, this path, instead of running down this way. You might have died there. Lifestealer has enough
Right.
damage, and Tusk has enough CC to kill you. So that's just something to
Yeah.
think about.
So this is interesting because I didn't notice this at the time, but
Mhm.
just the way that I farmed right there forced the Tusk and the Lifestealer to waste a bunch of time.
Yeah, no, these guys are pissed.
So
Like they're
that
chasing an
is,
Antimage. That's the
yeah,
worst feeling.
yeah.
So that's really
Okay.
good.
I mean, just seeing that, like seeing what you mentioned, like doing that causes these things to happen.
Yep.
Reinforcing those things are just good.
All right, excellent. I am glad. So here, I think it would have made a little bit more sense to do a downward clear, I guess an upward clear is more accurate, so something like this. Obviously, Void is doing these camps, but I think when Invoker is showing in this lane, because you just had creeps here, you can see they just died. I think when he shows here, you're kind of like pretty much safe, no matter what. Like Tusk can't really surprise you and snowball you or whatever,
Right.
if you're not blinking into him. So I think doing a downward clear would be totally fine in this case. Just something like that. Then after that, it becomes a little bit fuzzy because it depends on where Void goes. But yeah,
Right. Right. No. Yeah. It's. I mean, it's one decision at a time, and then
Mhm.
go from
Yep.
there.
for sure.
So
Okay.
this is. I remember this too, and I remember thinking, Invoker was top, so I was going to aggressively farm that middle wave, and
Yep.
now seeing it, they pinged me. So I was like, good. And then they chased my team all the way up.
Yeah, this is really good for
And
you.
I think that caused them to. Well, we all died, but
Oh, you ended up being.
I
Okay.
remember that and thinking.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's a big mistake.
That was a
for
big.
sure.
Yeah, I remember thinking that was a really bad decision.
Yeah. So definitely pushing this tower would have been 100% the better play. Like
Yeah.
you have no business being up here. So okay. That's. I mean, again, it happens. But
I mean,
definitely.
I saw he blew Chrono, and then that. Oh yeah, okay. I saw the jug was low, but I didn't. I forgot he had Aegis. And
Okay.
I think
yeah.
that changed like the whole decision. Actually, even if he didn't, that was probably a wrong decision.
Yeah. Even if there's still a lifestealer there that's full HP.
Yeah.
Like even if you somehow kill this guy, which you can't, if assuming he doesn't like AFK or whatever,
Right.
um,
Right.
you're still not gonna kill the other guys. So definitely a big mistake, no matter what happens here or what you were thinking. Even if it was like I want to go in on the chrono, that doesn't really make sense either because you're anti-mage.
Yeah.
The best way you can capitalize on a chrono is like if Invoker is already low mana and he's in the chrono, and you can just get an easy mana void or whatever.
Right. Right. Or if
Um,
he's on the tip or something.
Right, yeah, something
Which I
like
don't
that.
think happened.
So yeah, so that was an incorrect decision, and that matters quite a bit, right? 'Cause
Yeah, I
this
could have
is,
gotten
like-
that tower.
Yeah, and that'd be a
For
big deal. Also, like more importantly, you could have forced these guys to TP back instead of push the C2, which I'm assuming they're gonna do right now.
Right.
Yeah, Junk's gonna get this unless he glyphs. Okay, Witch Doctor suicides. Oh, he's Shadowblade. Holy shit. Okay. Wow, that's shocking. Okay, but whatever, he lives.
Yeah. Just
Okay.
don't
So,
question anything anymore.
Yeah, it should have been a tower, but the Shadowblade Witch Doctor warded the enemies off, so that's okay. All right. So, yeah.
Sometimes weird things work.
Yep, that is true.
Yeah, and I mean, I was trying to focus on doing this a lot, which was Manta split
Mhm.
pushing.
So that's good in a lot of cases, but this is one of those games where I don't think it's good. Well, it's okay. So I shouldn't say that. When Invoker is off the map, it's not that good because Manta is your way to
Yeah, that's
get
true.
away. So when you do this, you do get farm, which is good, but you have to play it extremely safe from here on if you don't know where Invoker is, or if you can't even infer anything about it, about his positioning or whatever. So I think this is something you don't want to make a habit of too much. It's okay if you see Invoker top, and then for the next 30 seconds or whatever, you're in the clear, so you can do this, and that's fine. But even then, if Invoker shows top, then it makes more sense to just push the creep wave really, really quickly, right?
Right, right.
Then maybe Manta the next wave or something like that. Okay, so definitely be careful with doing this. It's good in probably 8 or 9 cases out of 10, but oh my god, okay.
Yeah, this was
So-
really bad.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, whatever, it happens. God.
I don't even know what the Void was thinking there. Like honestly, like he's stuck in the trees. I don't know what he's currently, but
he might have just like been defensively chronoing himself as like a
yeah.
bubble. I don't know. That's a little strange. But anyway, yeah. That like completely threw me off my game. I don't know what I was talking about. Like, right.
We were talking about just Manta usage.
Yeah, Manta usage. Okay. So yeah, pretty much just like you want to use it defensively when there's an Orchid on the other team, or if there's something you absolutely need to dispel. The only other example that I can think of is Cold Snap, but you know that's in this game as well. So, I mean, there are other abilities that you need to dispel. It could be like I don't know, a silence or something like that. Not just an Orchid. So yeah, definitely be careful about this. It's still very good. Like, don't get me wrong, but just keep that in mind when you're using it. This is like when you use Manta, you're making yourself vulnerable in some kind of way. Okay.
Yeah, this was a weird fight because the Void was dead.
Yep.
I knew they didn't have Ravage, and I was like kind of unsure. I was just really... I don't even remember what happens in this fight. I mean, we're really behind right now, so...
So your goal in this fight should be to wait out CC, or wait for an opportunity where Invoker is isolated, and like away from people who have CC, and then try to blink on him, Manta, and just blow him up really fast. Because you're able to do that at this point.
I was trying at this point to just like keep them at bay a little bit, and stay around the tower.
Yep. Okay, so your way of thinking isn't that bad, honestly. Like that's just like the key timing is if Invoker is ever isolated, you need to like pull the trigger and just go.
I definitely didn't execute this fight very well. I'm pretty sure I tried to mana void the...
Yeah, the mana void is like the biggest problem I see so far. Everything else is like is fine, but if you just switched and gone on Invoker instead.
I think I wanted to. I'm pretty sure I wanted to.
Oh, you just misclicked. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I think that would have made a huge difference, though, for sure.
Yeah.
Alright, so it's not really helpful for me to say, like, oh, you should have clicked on the other guy instead of the light stealer, but definitely would have made a huge difference here.
I mean, execution, especially on heroes I don't play a lot, is just, you know, practicing, getting comfortable with who I want to go on and stuff.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, this was bad.
So...
Just chasing people around and...
Yeah, this guy runs too fast.
And he had track and then it came off and...
Yeah.
The Void bought back. I still am... I'm surprised we won, but...
I mean, that is the thing with Antimage, is like a lot of games are going to go like this. Okay, so I think I don't have too much to say about that fight, honestly. Like, I mean, obviously the chasing thing was bad. If anything, your hero is just not ready to fight. Like, the Manta, like, blinking on Invoker and Mantaing and mana voiding or whatever, that's
all
like
I can do.
That's a worst case scenario thing. Like, you know, your back's against the wall, you got to go in and win the fight or you lose a game.
Right.
So I don't think you need to be fighting right now. I think it'd be better to be pushing bottom or, you know, top or whatever. And just let your team do their thing. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got for that. Nothing else that would be, like, extremely helpful, I don't think.
Okay.
Okay. So, I think we should start wrapping things up here. Big things from this game were, like, the farming pattern stuff, like if you're starting out in mid, you want to go to this camp first before you do a downward clear.
Right.
Also the pulling thing. Okay, I'm gonna link you that right now. The farming pattern in lane thing. Okay, I'll send that. Obviously, you don't have to watch it right now, but
I'll definitely take a look.
Okay, so there's that where you just do this like spiral and there's pulling involved and stuff. But that will really help as well. I think that would have been what I did in this game. Again, it's not necessarily the right move, but you know, it's what I would do because I like the faster battle period personally.
Right. Yeah, I probably could have gotten like maybe a minute or two earlier.
Yeah, and that makes a big difference, right? So, okay. Other than that, I don't think there's much else that I remember for like reviewing purposes, but I've definitely seen improvement, which is really nice. Like a really big improvement.
I was really I was trying to focus on a lot of the things, just like thinking about farming patterns and where to be, and not it. I think maybe also for the benefit of other people that are around this stage is that has helped me for the past 10 to 15 games, which is just like really stop worrying about everyone else on the team.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like what your team is doing can really negatively affect how you play. And if you're reacting to what your team is doing rather than just focusing on making the right decision for yourself, it's made a huge difference for me. And
Yeah.
like I said, I think I played like 12 ranked games since the first coaching session, and I have won like 10 or 11 of them. So it can't all be attributed to that one statement.
Oh
Obviously,
yeah, but
other
yeah.
things go wrong, but I think it's just a mindset thing, and maybe it can't. People don't take into account how much of a mental part of the game, or how much Dota is a mental game, other
Yeah.
than just being really good at video games.
No,
Just like,
yeah,
and it's
absolutely.
about decision making. So being in a good mental state to make good decisions has helped me a lot more.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good advice. I don't have too much to say about that actually. Like I think you said everything I needed.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, okay, so that's good. So other than that, like the only things that I saw that were big were like the going to fights and everything. But that's severely been curbed, like very obviously. It only happened like once or twice this game, which is
Right.
still once or twice too much, but it's okay. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
Um,
Like as long as you see improvement and I'm gaining MMR, like I said, I don't play a ton,
yeah.
so I just want to see myself getting better, and then I'm a patient person, so I
Hmm.
know things will get there if I play the right way.
Yep. No, it's I mean it's absolutely that's been the case so far. Like even in
Yeah.
just like 10 or 12 games, which is a very low amount by all means.
Yeah.
Usually people don't start seeing results until like even 50 to 100 games.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah, so it's really good. And also like I don't want to like seem like I'm covering my ass here, but I kind of am. Uh, it there are going to be situations where like you're doing everything the same as you've been doing, and you're just going to lose because that's how Dota is sometimes.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
so just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. I'm glad everything has helped so far. I hope
Yeah.
this is equally as helpful.
This has been awesome.
All right. Well, yeah, as usual, if you have any questions, feel free to send them my way on Skype.
Okay. Excellent. Thanks a lot, man.
All right, thanks, dude. Good
Have a
luck.
good night.